I'm Stephanie Ricca with Hotel News Now, here today with Jeff Higley and Dana Miller from the Hotel News Now team, reporting from day 2 of the Hunter Hotel Conference here in Atlanta. You know, the morning kicked off with a bit of a party when STR's Jan Freitag talked about it being RevPAR's 8th birthday. In other words, the 8th consecutive year of positive RevPAR growth. And you know, it's funny to think 8 years is a pretty long time. A lot can happen in 8 years. Marriott and Hilton probably launched 40 brands in 8 years. So it's interesting to see it from that perspective and see a lot of the owners and operators in attendance really operating at peak performance, knowing that things are good. Things are good in the industry. However, if I were to say there was one dark spot that kept coming up on panel after panel today, it's the labor issue. That idea of there being not as much qualified, good labor to sustain a growing hotel industry. And you know, we're used to hearing that from managers and operators, but this time around we're hearing about it more from owners. We're hearing about it from bankers. You know, Dave Johnson of Aimbridge Hospitality this morning called it his #1 concern. And you know, even the banker on the panel, Ken Vecchione from First Alliance Bank, said capital is great, financial capital is great, but human capital is even more important. So I don't think they're paying lip service to this trend anymore. I think it's something that a lot of people have in their crosshairs, that they're going to have to start developing actionable ways to get around it and manage it. Dana, what do you think?
I agree, Steph. I've heard the exact same thing, and mostly from management companies today, that it's been like a street corner fight. They really need to be aware of that competition that's popping up everywhere and really invest in their people to make up for that competition and loss of employees and really just keep them as much as they can. How about you, Jeff? What have you heard?
Well, of course, labor did weave its way through, but Steph, I like your analogy of a party. You know, it's March Madness. March Madness is descended upon Atlanta. All these teams are here. There's a lot of action. And, you know, talking about Jan in the 96 consecutive months of RevPAR growth, we also heard right after that about Ray Schultz and finding, you know, when he founded Hampton Inn. And sometimes we neglect to look back at the history of the industry and kind of learn from what's been done in the past. And he was talking about the importance of that, because if you look in the past, you can learn a little bit about the future. So that's kind of what we're looking at when you hear Jan talking about RevPAR, when you hear Mark Woodworth talking about his forecast. There's a certain amount of historical presence in this industry that really needs to be remembered often, and certainly something that would be applicable in any time frame. So we're seeing this. We're seeing big crowds here. We're seeing lots of activity. You know, potential deals announced, potential acquisitions, potential new brands. And if we look back, we've seen it all before. But it's still fresh. It's still new. It's still exciting because the industry is still having such a good time growing and enjoying this record run. Any further thoughts on that stuff?
You know, I would agree. It seems like everything old is new again. And you talk about 8 years of RevPAR growth, and a lot can happen in 8 years. This is the 30th year of the Hunter Hotel Conference. A lot has happened in 30 years. And I think that some of the folks who have been here for the whole ride would say things look the same, even though they are a little bit different.
So that's a wrap from day 2 of the Hunter Hotel Conference. Thanks for tuning in to Hotel News Now. We'll see you next time.